Dave from New Jersey. It's the SNL Nerds. It's the show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. Let me do that again, because I kind of screwed it up. Dave from New Jersey. It's the SNL Nerds, the show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
And I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
How you doing, Darren?
Doing okay. I'm living the life, chasing the dream. I don't want to brag, but somebody's got an appointment to get their first vaccination shot.
Ooh.
So, big things happening. Big things.
Well, you made some calls. You made use of your connections.
I called my high-powered friends. I was like, "Get me this vaccine stat."
Mm-hmm.
And of course, P. Diddy on the other line was like, "Sure thing, player." And he made some calls, pulled
that
some
sounds
strings.
Completely plausible.
Yep, made some calls, pulled some strings. Sent some faxes, sent some tweets, beeped somebody on their pager. And so after all that happened, I have an appointment to get my first vaccine shot this coming Saturday. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to finally being able to see people face to face without wearing a mask and hugging and kissing. My wife, of course, and maybe other people too.
Okay. So
like family members.
The vaccine, and you're going to start having an open marriage. All right.
No. I meant my kissing my parents on the cheek and stuff.
Okay. All right.
I'm not out here in these streets, fella. Don't you put that label on me, man.
Okay.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't have a vaccine scheduled yet. I do apparently have some new downstairs neighbors now. Looks like some new people moved in, and judging from all the noise they were making last night, they may be douchebags.
Oh, what is it like a lot of techno pumping music? And
there wasn't techno pumping music. There was some requests to Alexa for them to play various songs, and they had some people over, and they were kind of noisy. Maybe that's because they don't have a lot of furniture in the place yet. I don't know. I'm gonna see how it goes, but so far not impressed, not a fan.
Oh dear. All right.
So, but hey, they're being quiet while I'm recording, so that's good.
Okay, so we're off to a rocky start with the new downstairs neighbors.
We'll see. I think they're young people.
Oh, the youth.
Yeah, yep. I used to have like a mother and her young daughter down there, and they were nice. They were quiet. They didn't make noise, so that's really all I asked of the neighbor. But
okay, so
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right, you don't want to become the cranky old upstairs neighbor just quite yet. Like you're waiting to see how this unfolds.
No, I have no problem being a cranky upstairs neighbor. I mean, I just don't want them to be douchebags.
Got it. So you have no problem with like grabbing a broom and like stomping the ground, but like, you kids keep it down there.
I don't know. I'm too passive aggressive for that. Oh. It takes a lot for me to like actually get in some space. One of the previous neighbors, I had the kid who was like practicing. He was kicking soccer balls, and he was kicking soccer balls into my window.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He was, and there are brick walls literally everywhere in my apartment complex. So it's like, yeah, kick the ball against a brick wall, not against a glass window that can break.
So dude, what the fuck is that about?
That I don't know, but I got in that kid's face. I was like, no, you are not doing that.
I understand if he did that once and it was a mistake, but he like repeatedly did it?
Well, I mean, he was doing it. This was like just one instance of it, but yeah, no, it hit my window a few times.
No, you gotta regulate.
I was very glad when that family moved away.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
This is what I'm saying. Yes.
Like if I were you, I would like get a switchblade, stab that soccer ball in front of the kid, and to send a message.
Well, I mean, that seems a little excessive now that they've moved away.
You can still do it.
I could try to track them down somehow and intimidate that kid for an incident he probably doesn't even remember at this point.
Find out where they moved to, go to their house, find a kid. Maybe, he's probably like a grown man by now or whatever.
Yeah, he's probably at least in high school.
Okay, well, either way, you take the soccer ball, stab it in front of him, and be like, payback's a motherfucker, and then you
Okay, yeah, this seems
walk
like a
away into the
rational response.
distance. It's the long revenge
Okay,
distance.
all right.
It's a dish best served cold, John.
This is true. This is true. Yeah, Khan Noonien Singh would not lie to me.
That's right.
All right, so we are here not to discuss getting vaccines and our downstairs neighbors, uh, but we're here to discuss the latest episode of SNL. And in this case, it's episode 17 from season 46 from April 10th, 2021. No, by the way, I just realized after our episode went up last week, I accidentally said March instead of April because I wasn't used to the new month yet. So
Because time means nothing.
because time means nothing, who knows? And it's hosted by Carey Mulligan and with musical guest Kid Cudi.
Yeah, first time host for both of them. First time we're seeing Carey Mulligan. First time Kid Cudi. Carey Mulligan, of course, she just recently won an award. Not won it. She didn't win it. She got nominated for an Oscar for a Promising Young Woman, which is out in theaters now.
Mm-hmm.
And Kid Cudi, he's been around for a while. I think I remember him from that one song he had, "Day and Night," which is like his kind of mainstream breakthrough hit. It's a nice, catchy song, and he's been putting out music for a while now.
Yeah, he goes back
Constantly.
further than I realized.
Yeah. So, and I think he's pretty good friends with Pete too. So, I mean, I don't know if that had anything to do with him being on, but
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently so.
yeah. So, yeah. So far going in, I was pretty. It sounded like a very interesting lineup. I was
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to seeing how this would play out, and yeah, I mean, we'll get into it, but overall, I thought it was an okay show. Had ups and downs.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this one just because I know Carey Mulligan's a really talented actor, and it's neat to see what someone who's mostly known for drama does on a comedy show, and yeah, and I will say, spoiler alert, she did not disappoint.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had this. I had this sort of the same kind of apprehension that you did with Daniel Kaluuya, because he
Mm-hmm.
was a British actor, basically known for drama, but then I found out he has done comedy, and I thought he knocked it out of the ballpark on his episode last week, and so going in, we have another British actor, Carey Mulligan, known for drama. So I was like, all right, let's see what happens, and yeah, it was not too shabby. I'll say not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right, so let's get into it. Starting out, we had the cold open. It's called Minnesota News, which is a Minnesota news magazine called Eye on Minnesota, and they're talking about the trial of Derek Chauvin.
Right. So this one has Ego, Keenan sitting on one side as news anchors, and on the other side we get Kate and Alex sitting on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so basically it's them discussing the Derek Chauvin, Chauvin or Chauvin, Derek.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shooty cop guy.
right, shooty cop guy. Uh, just talking about how the case is going on and how it's all these horrible things coming to light, and of course the Kate and Alex saying, well, this, of course, we can all agree this is a horrible tragedy,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we can also all agree that there's no way that Derek goes free after this. He's definitely going to prison, and of course,
Well,
yeah,
yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So Keenan and Ego's characters, they're skeptical, let's say.
Right, because Keenan's like, look, y'all seem like good people.
Yeah, yeah. But we've seen this movie before. Um,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, that's the premise of the sketch. It's just basically them saying, well, there's so much evidence, like, it's they'd be fools to let him go, or it'd be insane that he'd get off. But
right.
of course, Ego and Keenan are like, yeah, well, I mean, of
We'll
course, this
see.
is all.
We'll see.
We'll see. I don't.
They are very resigned to the fact that it may not go their way. And I
Right.
also liked what Kate and Alex were doing, where they're just kind of dancing around it, and they're trying not to say the wrong thing, and they're trying to find some common ground. Um, and at one
Right.
point, they were like, "Oh no, really? I really want to hear what Craig Jorgensen has to say about the Black experience." And first off, I just love that name. That's such a great name.
Craig, yeah, you hear the name Craig Jorgensen, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, exactly.
And then at one point they cut it over to Chris Red, who's like the weatherman.
Yeah,
They want to get his takes on it, and of course he's like, "Hey man, don't put me in the middle of this. I'm
yeah,
still in trouble after being in the Paul Pierce
yeah,
party."
yeah. He's like, don't drag me into this. Yeah, I liked it. Everybody had some definite notes to play. Um, I liked it was edgier than the usual SNL cold open. I felt like this was something they wrote for deeper into the show, and then they moved it up to the cold open when they saw how strong it was.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like as for this being the cold open, it really took me by surprise because,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it's a lot more edgier than a cold open usually is. It's not really. I mean, I guess it is sort of politically charged.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not like the stereotypical cold opens we've been getting for the past few
Yeah,
years, and I like that. I like that.
yeah, no, me too. Yeah, it wasn't, and I like that it wasn't. It was much more focused than the cold opens usually are. Usually, the cold opens they try to do this big roundup of like, okay, here's 3 or 4 notable things that happened this week, and we're going to try and find a thread that connects them all. And this mostly just focused on the trial,
Right.
and I think it was all the stronger for it.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, that's the same thing. It's. I mean, I've said this before in other episodes where, like in the other cold opens, that try to touch on they try to touch on all of these different topics that have happened in the past week. So it becomes like this big old mishmash patchwork of
Yeah,
a sketch, and it doesn't really kind of mean. You kind of almost forget it as soon as you see it, just because it's so much, and it's like too much of everything. But with this one, it's like you said, it's more focused on the one thing about this case that's happening, and like discussions that people are actually are having. At one point, I think Alex and Kate say, well, all right, we can't agree that he'll definitely go to jail, but we can't agree we don't want more riots to happen because as we can all agree, destroying property is never the answer. And
yeah,
then Ego and Keenan like, well, I mean, I don't know. I
yeah,
mean, they have insurance.
yeah.
It was bringing up a lot of good points. I really dug the sketch quite a bit. I say this might have been the sketch of the night for me.
It's certainly up there for me. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's up there. Do you know who wrote this one? I didn't get any info
Uh,
on the writers for this week.
I believe this is a Che and a Gary Richardson joint, which would make
You
this
dropped out there for a minute. Chain, who else?
oh Gary Richardson,
Okay.
which would be par for the course because this does have the fingerprints of Che all
Mm-hmm.
over it.
Yes.
I'll check and see, but I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah,
the
and
two
I
of them.
liked at the end they said, oh, and hey, we lost some royalty yesterday, and then the black anchors immediately thought they were talking about DMX, and the white
Yeah,
anchors were, of course, talking about Prince Philip, and they were like, no,
right.
no, no, the Prince, and then it goes like, no, girl, Prince has been dead.
I like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think it even had a strong ending where they were like, okay, well, the one thing we can all agree on is that Matt Getz is not good, and then they cut to Chris Red as Calvin the Weatherman, and he's like, well, hey, 17's not that young.
Yeah, that was like whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
and they're like, Calvin, this is why you got in trouble before.
All right. So from what I'm seeing, this was written by Michael Che, Josh Patton, sorry, and Gary Richardson.
All right, cool. Well done.
Yeah, this.
Really liked it. I thought it really got the show off to a strong start.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Cold open.
Yeah, yeah. So next we had the monologue with Carey Mulligan. Came out in this really interesting hot pink. I thought it was a jumpsuit at first, but it's actually like a 2-piece thing.
Yes,
And
it's the hottest of pinks. It's
yeah,
like
and
a
she's
high,
got like this weird strap thing coming off her shoulders, like going
yeah,
outside her sleeves, which I
yeah,
don't know what that was for, but it looked interesting.
yeah. She was like dressed like a highlighter.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it was very intense pink. And then she comes out and she says, "They told me I'm the very first English person to host this show," and and then she just gradually realized that that was not true.
They literally had a British host last week,
Yeah, yeah. And Eric Idle in the 70s.
and Eric Idle, and yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
numerous
those are
other
the
ones.
only English people.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
all.
No,
Yep,
yeah, no
that's it.
Daniel Craig, nothing.
Nope.
Um,
Don't bother to look it up, people. Don't fact check us.
nope, nope,
Fact check.
nope. Yeah, I thought this was good. She was it was a strong monologue. She talked about how she'd been quarantining in the English countryside with her husband and two small children, which she says is the start of a horror movie.
Yeah.
Good
She
line.
also, yeah, I mean, she also mentions how she gets confused with Michelle Williams, the actress, which
Hmm.
that is something I have done on numerous occasions. I've constantly confusing her with Michelle Williams.
I don't think I've ever mixed those two up.
Yeah.
Maybe just because I knew Michelle Williams decently. So
From Dawson's Creek or something.
sure, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So and
I
then
mean, I
so
don't
she,
want to wait for my life to be over.
ooh, just
I want
just
to
stay.
know right now, what will it be?
I
Like,
really
will
want to
it be
see.
yes or will it be sorry?
I,
I think
you're
those are
doing,
the lyrics to that song. I
yeah.
think.
You did it like William Shatner spoken word. What was
I,
that?
I it's because I was like half remembering. I think that's why Shatner pauses. He's like searching for his lines.
Mr. Tambourine Man.
Mr. Tambourine Man, Mr. Tambourine Man, Mr. Tambourine Man.
Oh,
The
wow.
Transformed Man. If you want to check it out, it must be listened to at least once.
Right. Half our listeners know exactly what we're talking about, and the other half are like, what are they? What are they talking about? What the
Yeah,
fuck?"
The Transformed Man by William Shatner. It's an album he did in the '70s. It listening to it is one of the experiences a person must have.
Right. Just
And
yep.
also go on YouTube and watch his rendition of Rocket Man from the Saturn Awards.
Holy moly! I guess I got it. I guess
Have
my
you not
we.
seen that?
I have not seen that.
Oh
Whoa!
my God, I'm sending you a link. I'm
Thank
sending
you.
you a link. You are watching this. Oh, it is brilliant.
My weekend is set. I'm gonna
Yes, yes.
light. I'm gonna dim the lights, light some candles.
But
Get some.
but but back to the, the Carey Mulligan monologue.
Oh right.
She talked about how her husband is actually a three-time guest, musical guest of SNL. It's Marcus Mumford from Mumford and Sons. I had no idea that they were married.
Me neither.
Yeah. And then it turns out that he's in the audience, and she's like, "Why aren't you watching our children?" He's like, "Oh no, I left them with the sons." Uh, good line.
Yeah.
Didn't get a laugh.
Yeah. This actually surprised me because I mean, for one thing, I didn't know she was married to one of the Mumford and Sons, and another thing, this dude's kind of funny.
Yeah, he really had a nice natural comedic presence to him. He's like, "Hey, do you know if they booked a musical guest? Because I brought my guitar just in case." And
Yeah.
he's just so giddy. You can't
Yeah.
not like the guy.
He has this big cheesy smile on his face throughout the whole thing. It's like,
Yeah,
and it's like, did I have a guess? Because I got my guitar. I could like
yeah,
play a little
yeah.
ditty or whatnot.
And at one point, she's like, well, if you want to play under me while I'm saying like we have a great musical guest, and oh, you're already on stage. Okay.
Yeah, it was. They I mean, of course, the two of them would have great rapport because they're married. So
Yeah, yeah.
there's a rhythm there. But like, I did not expect for the dude from Mumford and Sons to like have comedy chops. That shocked me.
Well, they've done some humorous videos. I mean, I know they did some video or another with Jason Bateman and a few other people, and then so they obviously have a sense of humor.
Oh, that
I liked at one point he started playing, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you gave me the secret signal to start playing," and Carey Mulligan just says in that very dry British way, she's like, "Okay, first off, I'm horrified that you think we have that."
yeah, but yeah, like but yeah, I was digging this monologue. I thought it was
Yes.
pretty good.
One of the stronger monologues they've done this season. I'm feeling really good about this show at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So next up, game show. What's wrong with this picture?
Yeah, what's wrong with this picture? 2021. They've done this at least two or three times before.
Yeah, so I did it with Paul Rudd and Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
So only twice before. Okay.
Well, they also did an at home with this too. If you want to count that.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's why I was thinking. So we had Keenan as the half vaccinated host, Elliot Pants. Love that name. We had the sponsor KY Jam.
mm.
And yeah, so it's the usual thing where the contestants are trying to guess what's wrong in a picture, but they're all very clueless and they all have really bizarre guesses.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much a cut and paste of the last three times they've done it, but just with
Mm-hmm.
different weirder answers.
Yeah.
I think on one picture they showed a woman who just gave birth and
Yeah.
has a baby in her arms, and he like, what's wrong with this picture? And then I think 80 says, "Oh, well, the husband in this picture is bald and way too small."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's I don't know, I don't know. This one I was like, I've seen this before. Like I've seen this 3 times before. You didn't do anything to sort of switch it up. I don't. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is like a reliable sketch for them to go back to, and I don't feel like they've done it so much that they've totally driven it into the ground. Um,
I feel like they're getting close to that though.
yeah, I feel like they probably gotten about as much mileage out of it as they can. But this one definitely had some laughs in it for me. Like
Oh,
in the baby picture that you were just talking about, the thing that was actually wrong was the clock had letters instead of numbers, and so at one point Keenan says, "Look at the doctor's clock," and Chris Red just goes, "Well, I can't. His robe is covering it." And
yeah, that was good.
I like that, and I also like later on they had a picture of a pizza party. And they said, "What's wrong with this picture?" "Oh, yeah, that pizza's left over from a porn set." But good on them for not wasting it. So, I mean, this definitely had some laughs in it for me.
It did. I mean, it like we said, it is one of those sort of formulaic sketches where you just like take out the old jokes, put in the new jokes, but you
Yeah,
keep the same format. So depending on like how much you like the jokes, that'll depend. That'll kind of
yeah.
vary on how much you like the sketch.
It
So,
doesn't really
but
have the surprise of the new anymore, so it really does live or die on how solid the jokes are.
right. I
And I
mean,
thought the jokes on this were pretty solid.
yeah. I mean, I guess this sketch also sort of had the same issue that another sketch had later on in this episode, which we'll get to later.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought this was okay. But I was like, yeah, I kind of. I mean, I do like it. I do. I love Chris Red. I think Chris Red, the way his
Yeah.
character was doing it, like he kind of had a little bit more energy and
I
oomph
mean,
to it.
stupid people with conviction is a really, really funny thing, and Chris Red did that really well in the sketch. He was a
Hey, that's
standout in the sketch, I thought.
yeah. Hey, that's how I live my life.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Chris, like, yeah, well, like when he would say things like, what's wrong with this picture? He would say, "Oh, I know, there's no dogs in it. I like dogs."
Yeah.
Like stuff like that made me laugh. I was
Yeah.
like, all right,
Yeah. And Keenan, of course, is getting more and more flustered. I feel like Keenan's not as strong of a game show host as he could be, but he was good in this sketch.
yeah, I think that might be it too. Like you need to see him get more. I don't know. Because like I kind of try to think about like why something like this doesn't hit with me the same way like a Celebrity Jeopardy sketch would. Because like the Celebrity
Hmm.
Jeopardy, it's kind of the same thing where it's Alex Trebek getting all flustered and upset over these celebrities who are very dumb and give dumb answers. And but it's the same format, just different jokes. And this game show is kind of like that where he gets angry at these contestants who give dumb answers. But like I'm more amused by the Celebrity Jeopardy than I am with what's wrong with this picture. So I was trying to figure out, well, why do I like this one more than the
Well, I
other?
mean, yeah, Celebrity Jeopardy's a little more about the wordplay, I guess. With the categories and all that. Um, yeah, but I think this was fine. I think it's also you need a really strong host for the game show sketches, like Will Ferrell as Alex Trebek or Bill Hader as literally any host.
Mm.
And Keenan's not quite at that level. I think he did a fine job. I just don't feel like and everybody's going to suffer in comparison to Bill Hader when you're doing a game show sketch.
Yeah, I mean he's. I mean it's Bill Hader. Good
He's
lord,
the king.
he's the king.
He's the king. So next we had a pre-tape. This was IBS medicine ad, an ad for uh, Tremfalta, which is a medicine for irritable bowel syndrome. Where
Uh, right. So we it's a commercial. We go and see Carey Mulligan and Mikey Day are a couple who are at their child's recital in at school, and as the recital's going on, the mother Carey Mulligan has IBS, and
Mhm.
she's got to take a doo doo. So she excuses herself to go to the bathroom
and of course
while
misses her kid performing.
yeah, and the son is a crestfallen.
Yeah,
And of course, as she leaves, one of the mother notices that she had to poo poo, so she gives her Tremfalta so she
yeah,
can control her IBS and not miss her son's recital and get back to living, get back to
yeah,
life.
yeah. And the joke in this is like after Carrie Mulligan returns to her seat, we have Keenan as the janitor and 80 as like a teacher, and looking at the mess she made in the bathroom, and they're cutting off the reading of the side effects and all that.
Right. Because whatever she left in the bathroom, it's so horrific
Hmm.
that they're like, "Oh my god, what if it's on the
Yeah.
walls? Who did this?"
And
Like,
so they have to interrupt the recital and just talk about how horrible it is. And it ends with Carey Mulligan just threatening her friend Lauren Holt, just saying, "If you say anything, I will destroy your life." Um,
right? Because
I thought this was okay.
yeah, I mean, it's a poo poo
I
sketch.
I think it's one where uh, the performances really elevated it. Carey Mulligan, I thought in particular, her expressions as she was sitting like just kind of squirming in her seat, both from the
Right.
irritable bowel syndrome and from the social discomfort. I thought those were both great. Keenan was nice, just freaking out over everything.
Like, I
Uh,
have kids.
yeah. So I thought it was okay. I thought it was elevated by the performances, however, and it was
Um,
good to see that Carey Mulligan's just game for anything.
I'll give you that. Because like I think at one point when the teacher and the janitor were asking who did this, who
Hmm.
left this mess in the bathroom, and Mikey Day's character looks at his wife and says, "Hey, weren't you in the bathroom?"
Yeah,
And she just like gives him a stone cold look and saying, "Shut the fuck up."
yeah, yeah.
I was like, all right, that's yeah, I'll give you that. Like I thought the sketch was okay, but it's like you said, like Carey Mulligan and the other performances helped pump it up just a little bit.
Hmm. So next we had Study Buddy. This was with Carey Mulligan and Kate McKinnon as Josh, who they're having a study session, and they sit in a seat together. They called it a papasan seat. Is that right?
That sounds racist, but I guess so.
I don't know. I just wrote it down phonetically. I'd never realized that those types of chairs had a specific name for them. But
Yeah, I
they,
thought they were just like wicker seats or like
yeah, the big round wicker cushiony thing.
yeah, it's
But
like a fancy futon.
yeah, but Carey Mulligan's character is kind of flirting with Kate's character a bit, and he gets nervous, and so he decides to call up his best friend Jason to get some pointers. And Jason is played by Aidy Bryant.
Right. So basically, it's a Kate and 80 sketch. This was written by Anna Dresden and Alison Gates, and yeah, it's interesting to see kind of Kate and 80 both play teenage boys, but like a very kind of specific teenage boy,
Hmm.
like the kind of dorky, nerdy kind of dude that like kind of talks like an old man
Yeah.
in a weird way. Like I think at one point Kate says to the girl over at his house, Carrie Mulligan's like, "Well, my mother won't be home for 3/4 of an hour."
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like I mean, I don't know if I knew guys like that in my school, but maybe I did. I hope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there were some good lines in this. I like, when Kate or Josh calls up Jason. Jason goes, "I'm glad you called me because I did have a girlfriend at graphic design camp."
yeah, absolutely.
And I liked when Jason advises Josh, like, whisper a secret essentially into her ear, and Josh whispers, "One species of jellyfish is immortal."
And she's into it, and then he goes
Yeah,
back to the phone. He's like, "Yeah, somehow that worked. What do
yeah,
I do? What
yeah.
do I do?" Uh, yeah, I mean, this was like a slice of life sketch. It has a certain charm to it. I
Hmm.
think it definitely kind of reminded me. I mean, a lot of people say it reminded them of maybe shows like Pen 15 and that new show Chad that Nassim
Hmm.
Pedrad is doing, or maybe even like Freaks and Geeks, or even if you want to go all the way back, it kind of maybe reminded me of the old the Nerd sketch, like the Lisa Lupner, Todd DeLuca a
Hmm.
little bit. Um, it definitely had a. I don't know. I thought it was okay. I thought it was all right. I kind of was more interested in it than I found it funny. I guess if that's anything.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, for me, it didn't really rise above okay. I thought the performances were good, but this one didn't send me in a big way. But it was fine.
Yeah, like I mean, the character work was good. I did find a little distracting the way like Carrie Mulligan was just kind of looking straight ahead
Hmm.
into the camera. I mean, I don't know if that was what her character was supposed to do, but it just seemed like she was just like staring straight ahead into the camera at the cue cards. And I was like, I mean, even though like she was talking to Kate's character, who was right next to her, but instead of looking at him and talking to him, she was like looking into the camera. It's like
Well,
I
I
didn't know
think
that.
that's just because like Kate's character Josh was on the phone, and I think Carey had to be like semi oblivious and not realize that he wasn't really talking to his doctor.
Got it.
So
All right.
I mean
But yeah,
that was what I got out of it anyway.
okay. But yeah, overall, I thought it was charming, uh, and interesting. Also,
Hmm.
I mean that sounds like an insult, but I thought it was all right, but wasn't groundbreaking. I thought.
Okay, next we had a pre-tape, a music video with Chris Red, Pete Davidson, and Lil Cudi. Weird Little Flute.
Yeah, so it's another rap video with Pete Davidson. This is his wheelhouse,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's them
Pete,
in the
Pete and Chris. I mean,
yeah,
it's consistently those two.
yes, they're the Kate and 80 of hip hop.
Yes,
Oh, that's pretty clever. I'm happy
it's
you
what
said
I've
that.
always said.
So yeah, so it's them in the club, and they say, yeah, we got the clothes, we got the crystal, we got the jewelry, and we got our weird little flute, and it's them playing flutes in
Yeah.
throughout the. So I guess
It's just kind of talking about the tendency of some hip hop songs to have weird little flutes in it, and they give a couple examples, like the Beastie Boys "Sure Shot," the doo 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 doo. Yeah,
yeah, Jeremy Stag.
yeah,
Uh,
and they mentioned
yeah,
another song, "Mask Off," which I'm
that
not familiar with that song. I didn't look it up though.
That I didn't know. I know, and they also mentioned Jay Z used a flute in Big Pimpin'.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the thing. When I saw the sketch, I was like, "Is flutes in a people? It's rappers using flutes in their song? Is that like that's not that big a thing to be a thing?
hmm,
Like you hear flutes in hip hop, now and again, but you don't hear it enough that it's like what's the word I'm looking for? That's a
a
cliche.
trend.
Yeah, it's like even they said, oh yeah, there was like a flute in that Beastie Boys song from the '90s, and
Yeah, I mean
then
that's going back a ways at this point.
yeah, like I've heard flutes in hip hop songs, they're great, but I don't hear it so much that it's like I said, like a cliche or nothing. It's
Yeah,
not. I never hear like, oh, you know how rappers are with their flutes,
yeah, yeah.
they.
Um,
But
I thought this was okay. It didn't really need to be 3.5 minutes.
yeah, but I do know people love these Pete rap videos.
Yeah,
It was cool to see Timothy Chalamet make a quick appearance out of nowhere.
I thought that was very random. I was just like, really, we should have done like an Allison Hannigan cameo, but
Ooh,
right,
nice! One time
right,
at band camp. Oh,
exactly, exactly.
that
And,
that's why
and
you're the
we
king.
had a little twist at the end where it turns out that they're actually in a music store, and they're just kind of freaking out in the music store, and then they end up buying all the flutes in the music store because they're very reasonably priced, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't know flutes were so affordable.
Yeah, apparently only about $80. So,
Okay. Wow.
um, yeah,
Yeah.
I would have liked this more if it was like 2 minutes. As it was, it mostly made me want to watch the Beastie Boys Sure Shot again, which
Oh,
I did.
damn straight, dude. Do you have the that anthology double disc DVD, like the Criterion collection of the Beastie Boys videos?
No.
It's worth getting, my friend.
All right, all right.
It
So
is.
I
It
will
is
get that. You will get William Shatner, the Transform Man, and we'll see which one's better.
done. I don't know why. I don't know why MTV doesn't take these ideas and use them. And we have our fingers on the pulse of what kids want today in music.
I don't know. And since Kid Cudi cameoed in the music video, that gives us a perfect segue into his musical guest segments.
Woo!
His first number was Tequila Shots, and he had a really impressive light show in that.
Oh yeah, they're like lasers everywhere. It's like Tron.
I mean, I'm just looking at something like that, and I'm just like, how the heck did you even set that up? It's
I
so,
don't know.
and he was wearing a Chris Farley T-shirt. Did you notice that?
I did. I did. I think. Well, for both performances, I think a lot of people were focused on what he was wearing.
Yeah,
Because I mean, I guess we'll get into it too. Like, because on his first performance, Tequila Shots, like you said, he
yeah,
was wearing a Chris Farley T-shirt,
right.
and then on his second performance, which was called hold on, I got
It
it,
was called Sad People.
Sad People. Yeah,
Yeah,
he He was wearing a floral dress.
Yeah, and I didn't know what that was about, but apparently that was like a Kurt Cobain tribute.
Yeah, because last week was the anniversary of Kurt Cobain's death.
Hmm.
So if you notice, and when he performed Tequila Shots, he was also wearing like this ratty green cardigan sweater.
I actually put in my notes. I put like he was wearing a Kurt Cobain kind of sweater, and I just got a
Right.
real Kurt Cobain vibe from him. So it's interesting that that was intentional. So that was yeah, because Kurt Cobain like he once wore the dress a dress at the MTV Movie Awards, I think.
Right. I mean, he's worn dresses there. He in the video for In Bloom, they're all wearing dresses. So I
Uh
guess
huh.
he's been known to rock a lovely lady wear once in a
Hmm.
while. But yeah, bold choices for clothes. Although it does seem like more people are talking about what he was wearing rather than the actual music, which I thought was
Yeah, I
nice.
mean,
I mean,
well, I
the
mean,
music was
if
okay.
you're gonna wear like a sundress, if you're a dude and you're wearing a sundress, you're probably gonna get some attention for that.
Yeah,
Um, I like the first number, Tequila Shots, more than Sad People. Sad People didn't grab me as much, but I like Tequila Shots. I thought that was a good number.
yeah. I mean, he's always been like a good rapper. He kind of came in like during the early aughts,
Hmm.
at that time when hip hop was becoming more, I guess, emo. I guess a lot of
Hmm.
people kind of feel like he was like one of those emo rappers where he was kind of talking about his emotions and feelings and his issues with mental illness and whatnot. And so he was getting more deeper and more kind of angsty with his hip hop, which I guess a lot of people just weren't used to or still aren't used to in hip hop these days. So like for him to sort of do that and come out wearing a dress is like a pretty strong stance. But I mean, as far as the music goes, yeah, I think the music's pretty solid. You know, I think those are all right.
Yeah. So, all
So
right.
thumbs up to you, Mr. Cuddy.
Thumbs
Thumbs up.
up. Um,
Hmm.
all right. Next, we had what I understand is a regular feature on Saturday Night Live. It is called
Hmm.
Weekend Update with
Hmm.
Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Is it pronounced Che or
I
Che?
don't know. I'm not going to commit myself to one pronunciation,
As you shouldn't.
as I shouldn't. So yeah, again, starting out with a story about Matt Gates. And again, how is Colin Jost not playing this guy?
Like I'm looking at the
They
screen
put up a
cap.
picture of Matt Gates next to Colin Jost, and it is like you were seeing double.
All you have to do is like mess up with Joseph's hair, most of Joseph's hair a little bit, and
Yeah,
you got Gates. I
they
mean,
have the same Bob's Big Boy slash Beavis and Butthead hairstyle.
they got the same smile. I'm looking at a screen cap right now
Yeah,
of the two of them side. They literally have the same smile. Like
yeah. I
literally,
mean,
literally.
Jost is less creepy, but that's only because most carbon-based forms of life are less creepy than Matt Gates. But
Oh, absolutely.
they did have a good line where they said that Matt Gates looks like all the dudes in American Pie combined.
Yeah, that was. I mean, no lie.
Yeah,
Uh, they had a few good jabs where we're talking about how Gates was giving, the women money through Venmo, saying it's for their college tuition or something,
right.
and then of course Joe said, "Well, this proves that he's the only congressman helping out with student loans."
Yeah, yeah. That was a good line. That was a good
Yeah,
line.
yeah.
Um, Che, I thought, had a brilliant joke where they were talking about because apparently, Donald Trump is calling for a boycott of Coca Cola, and Che says, "I would have guessed Don Jr. would have the problem with Coke," which
Yeah, he's
brilliant.
on. Yeah, he's on something. He's riding that China White.
Allegedly, I mean, we don't know
Allegedly,
for sure.
allegedly.
Yeah,
Don't come
but
for don't come for me.
I thought the brilliance of that joke was, they are obviously talking about Coca Cola, and I mean, just the double meaning of that, I thought was just genius.
Right. No. Well. Yeah. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
dug it. He also had this one great joke. Che. I think this was my favorite one about Will I Am
Hmm.
with Will I Am is making this new mask,
Yeah.
face mask that has an air filter, a Bluetooth, noise and noise cancellating earbuds, and he's coming out with that for the people. Or, and just hear me out, just get the vaccine, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good.
I thought that was a good line. And then he tagged it with saying like, "Will I am, I love you and all, but you know, you need to stop. You need to come out with a new hit, or else you're going to be Will I was."
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Bam.
There was one joke that Che had where he talked about he was getting a text message eligible for the vaccine, and he says, and I click on the link, and it's this guy, and they cut to this big beefy black man, and I'm assuming that guy's name was supposed to be Vaccine. Is that guy a porn star or something?
I
I
think
feel like I
so.
missed something there.
I think so. I think it was like some picture of a dude trending that has like a huge hog,
Okay,
and
okay,
I don't, guys. I mean, I don't know about things like this. I'm pure as the driven snow. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know about these pornographies and whatnot. They're, you know, so if you just let us know. Don't tweet us the picture or anything like that. Just let
Don't
us
send
know.
us links.
Don't. Yeah.
Don't send us links. Don't send us pictures. You could just send us a nice text message and just let us know using words.
Yeah. Hey, SNL nerds, here's what that meant. Just click on this link below to find the answer.
No, we are not clicking on that link.
Blocked and deleted.
Exactly. I felt like I was like, I think I can get this from context clues, but I don't know. Am I
Yeah.
supposed to know who that person is?
I think it's just some dude with a huge crank.
Okay. All right. And speaking of dudes with huge cranks, we had Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen
What have you heard? What?
talking about their podcast Renegades, which apparently they just wrapped up the podcast this week. Um, I
Uh,
didn't know that was like a limited time thing. I thought they were just going to keep on going, and they were,
uh,
because like a white dude and a black dude just talking with each other and just rapping. That seems like
yeah.
a bottomless pit.
Yeah, I didn't know it was just a limited event either, but yeah, I mean, I haven't heard it, but I had seen ads for it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, just Barrio and Brucey Spree are just kicking back and like two renegades do on a podcast on $1 million platform.
Brucey Spree, really? That's the nickname you're going with
Yep,
for
I
Bruce Springsteen.
I said it off the top of my head, and I'm not taking it back.
Okay. So we this had Chris Red and Beck Bennett doing their impressions of Barack and Bruce, and doing just kind of some bad improv. Just kind of
Yeah,
pointing out that these two guys don't, at first glance, they don't necessarily have a whole lot in common.
yeah. I mean, a part of me is thinking, well, is that by design? Is that like the point of them making fun of the podcast, where they're saying, yeah, they're just two guys talking. There's nothing really interesting about the podcast, so therefore this segment isn't that interesting.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't listened to their podcast. I'd heard that they were doing it, of course, but yeah. So I don't know if it's like that painful or if it's that sort of bad improv that
Yeah,
they were
like
doing.
maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know. I did.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I will admit I did laugh at the part where I think Barry, Chris Red,
Yeah,
who actually does a pretty decent Obama
yeah,
impression.
yeah. I mean, I thought Chris Red's Obama was pretty good, and Beck Bennett's Bruce Springsteen was also there.
Yeah, and like and then they said they would let Barack sort of riff a little bit, and it's him riffing. He's like, "Hey, hey there, Bruce, how you doing?" It's like, "Oh, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing all right. Yeah, doing all you quarantining and whatnot." It's like, "Yeah, man, I am. Yeah." And then that's when Che's like, "That's it. That's all you're." And
Yeah,
then the part I laughed at is when Bruce says, "Oh, you gotta let it breathe, man. You gotta let it breathe."
yeah. I was so on this. Yeah, I felt like Chris Red's Obama was a lot stronger than Beck Bennett's Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, yeah, Bruce. Yeah, Chris Beck's Bruce was. I mean, I guess it was Bruce Springsteen, but it was like, all
Yeah,
right.
this had the feel of like this was thrown at Beck on Thursday, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I've got 2 days to get Bruce Springsteen down. Well, I'll give it the old college try."
Listen to Badlands. Go.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't necessarily think of Beck as a super strong impressionist. So
I mean, his Mike Lindell's all right. The My
yeah,
Pillow
that's
dude.
true. Yeah, I'm not being fair. You're right. He has done some good impressions on the show, but
Yeah,
Bruce I don't think was one of them.
yeah, exactly. This part was like, all right, it's a little kind of weak.
Yeah.
And then next up we have one of the newbies, Punky Johnson, coming
Hmm.
out as Pineapple,
Yeah.
one of the strippers who was at Paul Pierce's party, the big old, big hullabaloo that got Paul Pierce fired from ESPN.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, he had a party that was broadcast live on Instagram, and it had strippers and stuff. And so they decided to talk to one of the strippers, played by Punky, and she's named Pineapple.
It's a way to go. It's a choice. It's a choice.
I mean, that's a good stripper name, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Uh,
And she's just kind of talking about how Paul Pierce is maybe getting a bum rap because he's giving strippers jobs during a pandemic, and that's a good thing.
yeah. Um, I think at one point that they had Pineapple saying, "Yeah, I'll let you know why why I feel like Paul Pierce shouldn't have been fired," and then she wants money for that answer, so
Mm-hmm.
she asks Che for $1, and then Che is like, "Oh, it's a good thing I keep stripper money around with me."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then over the course of the segment, she's like, she turns to Jane. She's like, "Yeah, you look familiar." um, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I had that party in your apartment." Um,
Uh,
I thought this was nice to see Punky get in the showcase because yeah, she's been kind of overdue to have a nice spotlight.
yeah, yeah, no, this is a good showcase for her. I also liked how she mentioned that like Paul Pierce got all the strippers vaccines.
Yeah,
And I think Michael Che's like, "Oh, you got what did you get? Like Johnson and Johnson?" And she's like, "Oh no, we got Jackson and Jackson." See, because Tito and Latoya they came out with their own vaccine strand, and
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, that's a nice little line. But yeah, overall, I thought it was okay. It's good to see one of the newbies get a little bit of shine.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And then lastly, we had another death segment. This one was really out of left field. This was because we're coming up on the 109th anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic. They had Bowen Yang as the iceberg that sank the Titanic.
Like, how do you even come up with this idea?
You don't know. And the, as it goes on, like Colin's trying to ask the iceberg questions about the Titanic sinking, and Bowen's like, "These are not the questions we discussed. I'm here to promote my album."
Yeah,
I just this was so bizarre. I really liked it.
yeah, me too. I thought it was strong. I see. I mean, it's trending a lot. It's going viral, kind of on the social medias. But yeah, I love. It's such a weird idea, and the way Bowen is playing it,
Yeah,
I thought this really worked for me. It's
Bowen's
like
performance was just wonderful. He really threw himself into it. I mean, and he gets aggressive, and he's like he's like blaming the sinking on the Titanic. They're like, "Hey, they came to me, and and they drown in the water. That nobody's canceling the ocean." I
yeah,
mean,
that's a great line.
it
That's
was
pretty.
great. And I mean, the costume was just kind of wonderfully absurd because he's got sort of a Snow White on his face and then the iceberg thing on his head.
Right, and like the way he just plays this iceberg as just sort of this person who's just trying to, pitch their hyper pop EDM new disco Fantasia album called "New Tricks."
Yes, yeah.
Like, there's a lot of layers there to that.
It's just so out there. I just really liked it. It was so weird. It was great.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a sketch, but this was performance was a home run. Like
Yeah,
I'm seeing it a lot on Twitter and stuff saying, "Oh, this should make Bowen like a regular player now. Like he
yeah,
knocked it out the park." And I agree. Like I thought he performed it really strong. It's such a interesting, unique idea, and like the way it was like kind of played and the twist on it, I thought was really interesting. And I don't know, this was a home run for me. I thought it was really good.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was one of the highlights of the show for me too. It was.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was funny material, but Bowen's performance really just took it up another notch or two. I mean, it was great.
Right, because I guess he was playing like a kind of like a disco diva or something
Yeah,
like that. But like
yeah.
it's I did not see this coming. But
I
like
mean, it's
I love
because it's not even like it was the 100th anniversary. It's the 109th anniversary.
yeah, it's like it's nothing that's really trending right now. It's nothing
No,
that's really relevant. But
I mean, I literally when I was watching this, I for a minute I was like getting mixed up as to what year it was. And I was like, oh, it's a shame they didn't do this next year for the 100th anniversary. And I was forgetting that it's actually like 2021 instead of
Right.
2011. Because again, pandemic world, time has no meaning.
Right.
But
Uh, but yeah, this was. I mean, at this, like I said, slam dunk. This was
yeah,
fantastic.
100%, 100%.
And there was also one quick thing that I really liked where when they were wrapping it up and they were saying for weekend update, I'm Colin Jost, and Che said, and I'm Earl Simmons. Good night. And I thought that was like a nice little nod he did to DMX, who just passed away.
Oh yeah, that was DMX's real name. That's nice. They did have a nice title card for DMX late in the show, and right after Weekend Update, they had one for Ann Beats, who was the SNL writer who also she unfortunately passed away this week.
Right, right. She's one of the first female writers of SNL, if I'm not mistaken. Or like, yeah, right.
You dropped out there. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, like one of the first female writers of SNL, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think she was the only female writer
Oh,
when they started out, and she was also a writer on the National Lampoon. She was played by Natasha Lyonne on the movie A Futile and Stupid Gesture,
right, right.
which we reviewed on this show, and talked to the writers about that. And yeah, and she was also the creator of the TV show Square Pegs, if you remember that from the early '80s.
Right, right. It was only on for a season, but like I mean, she was a strong writer, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's a bummer. She will be missed.
Yes, yeah. So next, this was one I got a little excited about because they showed a little, you know, uh, quick cutaway during the commercial break, and then you're seeing like a Star Trek esque sketch, and I was like, oh,
Right.
cool, they're doing a Star Trek parody, and it's a Star Trek spinoff called Star Charter Andromeda.
Right. This is a great set for this one too.
Impressive set, yeah. And they're in, sort of, but not quite Star Trek uniforms, just, close enough so that they can avoid copyright infringement, I guess. And the ship is heading towards a black hole. And Carey Mulligan's character of McKenna makes the dumb suggestion about unplugging the ship and plugging it back in again. And everyone's like, no, that's dumb. We're not doing that. And she storms off.
Right. And so then it comes out that oh yeah, they're like the new hires who just graduated from the Naval Star Fleet Academy, and then Ego, who's one of the crew members, says, "Yeah, if it looks like they're just these like kind of rich white kids who's just learning that the world doesn't revolve around them,
Right,
type of
right.
thing."
And Mikey's her friend who gets upset about her on her behalf, and he like follows her out off the bridge, and then he comes back in and he's just like, this whole place is just literally toxic.
Yeah, Mikey does some really good acting in this scene.
Yeah,
Like,
Mikey was really good in this sketch. I mean, Carey Mulligan was great too. And they're literally just trying to make everything about them when the ship is like falling into a black hole or getting sucked into a black hole. I don't know. I'm not an astronomer. This is why I have a podcast about SNL.
right.
Um,
But yeah, but I thought that I really got a kick out of the sketch where Carrie Mulligan was like kind of I think like I think what was it no, Mikey was saying, oh, I think you owe my friend an apology,
yeah,
and Kate, who's playing it pretty deadpan and straight throughout the
yeah.
sketch,
She's
was
like the first officer.
yeah, you rarely see that in a Kate sketch, but she's like, no, like she came up with a dumb idea. We can't use that right now, and
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was like, stop gaslighting me.
yeah.
Oh my god!
Uh, and she's just being very, very dramatic about it. And at one point, Bowen's character just goes, "Yeah, no, she threatens to jump out into space every day. It's fun."
Right, and of course, Chloe comes in saying, she's also one of the newer hires, and she's
Yeah,
saying, I need to speak my truth. My voice has value. It's just a lot. I don't know. I just kind of like the sketch because it, makes fun of entitled, well-off young people,
a
and that's
lot of Karens in this sketch.
yeah, a lot.
Chloe at the end, she's like, "Oh, I'm videotaping you," and
Oh, right, because like I think at one point, of Kate grabs Mikey's wrist because like Mikey was like pointing at her, and she's like, "No, get this finger out of my face." And she's like, "Ow! You're hurting
yeah.
me! Oh my god!"
And there's a bit where Mikey Day storms off the bridge, and he runs into this guy in an alien mask, and he just goes, "Move, Clem." Um,
Yeah,
and
was that plant? That seemed like a riff
I
a
don't
little bit.
know. What I was hoping, I have no idea if this is true, but my finger is crossed that it was under that mask that it was actually production designer Akira Yoshimura, because he's the guy who's always played Sulu whenever they've done a Star Trek sketch, and I would love it if it was just him under the mask. I have no idea if it was. I haven't seen anything online about it, but I hope that was Akira.
Oh shit, dude! I didn't even think of that. Dude, that would have been next level.
That would be brilliant. And I also want to give a shout out to Alex Moffat, who's playing like a Data like crew member. I really liked his performances, just this sort of half robotic type guy.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. I enjoyed that. I was looking through other people's review of this episode,
Hmm.
and the one line I thought captured it from Andy Hogland, who we've had on the podcast, who writes for Entertainment Weekly. He said, "Good critique of privilege and affluent selfishness disguised as being woke."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
I liked
that
it, and I
nailed it.
also liked that they were like making it Star Trek esque without actually being Star Trek. I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, it's Star Trek adjacent.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
so yeah, I got a kick out of this sketch. I liked it.
yeah. This is a solid sketch. Next, we had another pre-tape, lesbian period drama. This was with Carey Mulligan and Heidi Gardner as some two women in the 19th century who they have the love that dare not speak its name.
Right. So basically, it's I think it starts as Beck, who's married to Carey Mulligan. She takes his wife to the doctor, and she's like, "Doctor, you need to look at my wife. She's a bummer."
Yeah, and the doctor says that she needs seagull sounds, gray air, and long rocky walks.
Right. So basically, this is a play on a lot of those kind of Oscar baity indie movies
Hmm.
that kind of delve into the topic of taboo love,
Yeah, Forbidden
as it
Love,
were,
starring
forbidden love.
two straight actresses who dared not to wear makeup.
Exactly. Best Supporting Actress nomination, The Wind.
Yeah, I really like this. This was funny. I thought the performances were good. We had Kate McKinnon pop up halfway through as like the ex of one of the women who's like, and she's like wearing a tuxedo, and
Yeah, like I mean, I did like the sketch. I like how it kind of hit on all the tropes you see in movies like this. I mean, they mentioned a few of them, like Portrait of a Lady on Fire,
mhm.
Ammonite, and there's other movies too, like Disobedience and whatnot.
Yeah,
But yeah, there are a lot of that does have like those movies do have a lot of the same beats where there's like awkward glances and women walking on the beach picking up rocks and,
yes, yeah,
and things like that. 12 lines of dialogue in a 2.5 hour runtime movie.
yeah. I will say though, this sketch had way more than 12 lines of dialogue.
Right.
So,
False advertising.
so
They
yeah,
say that.
point off for that. I mean,
Mm.
get your shit together, SNL.
Sure.
Come
Yeah. Sure. I mean, I'm gonna see it, says Lesbian
on.
Monthly.
Yes. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff in this one. I thought this was another solid one.
Right. And then,
So,
of course, they talk about how, like I said, like awkward. There was one part that I missed until I went back and rewatched it again, where they
mhm.
talk about, look at this scene that has the most saddest flirting ever. And then it's Carrie telling Heidi while they're lying in bed, my mother and dad, my mom and dad died before I was even born. Me too. I didn't catch that the first time.
That's good.
I was like,
It's a tragic backstory there.
yeah. I was like, oh yeah. And then of course they cut to like aggressive sex scenes that make you remember, oh yeah, this was directed by a man.
Yeah, which apparently is a thing in some of those movies. I haven't seen any of the real movies that they quoted, but apparently, like some, they have very explicit sex scenes, and like
Yeah.
one of the reviews was like, I liked it because we saw the women's naked backs, which reminded me of the fronts, which are where the boobs are.
Wow. Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way.
So I mean, so because I guess like some of these movies, they go for more heterosexual titillation.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, the
And
dudes are like, hey, we got two broads here. We gotta show them do stuff, right, guys? Gotta show the boobs and what have you.
yeah,
Right,
that's
right,
right.
right.
But we're arty, so we're going to show the backs.
Yeah.
So because we're arty.
We're classy like
We're
that.
classy like that.
Right, guys.
Yes.
Oh,
Hey, you know what I
oh.
mean, right?
Good. Fun times.
And speaking of classy, our next sketch is all about class.
Hmm.
It's one of our favorites, "The War in Words," which is with Mikey Day as a soldier writing home to his wife, who, whenever they have a British actress on the show, this is one of their go tos.
You're so right. They did this with Claire Foy. They did this with Phoebe Waller-Bridge again, and
Yeah,
now they're doing it with Carey Mulligan.
we should have seen this coming, but I saw I saw this get set up beforehand, and I was like, oh yes, of course, yes, all right. So, I mean, this is one where it's a formulaic sketch, but I don't mind because it's always so damn funny, and the performances are always so damn good.
Yeah. We get the yeah. I mean, if you've seen the other two War and World sketches, you've seen this one. It's kind of the same thing where Mikey Day writes to his wife back home, my beloved Martha, blah 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 blah, and then she writes back saying hi, and then of course they write back and forth, more correspondence, and it escalates to him asking for something naughty
Yes.
from her, and
And
she
then,
sends him.
Mary,
She
you
sent.
have sent me cocaine.
I think it's Mikey Day that really sells it, just because his. I don't know. He's really expressive, like
he
with things
he
like
is
this.
so good at just being incredulous and increasingly outraged and weirded out throughout by all the bizarre responses he's getting from his wife. Um,
Right.
like he mentions that a friend of his was killed in war. My friend Stephen was shot and died in my arms. And his wife Mary replies, "Well, as long as no one saw you kill him, they can't prove it was you. Trust me, I've been down this road before."
And then of course he goes, wait, what? Wait a minute, you've killed him?
Yeah, and then she goes, "Oh no, smart move blaming a Nazi. People don't seem to like you that much, but the Nazis I met at dinner the other night were delightful."
Yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, this sketch always gets a kick out of me. Like I always
Yeah,
put the smile on my face. I mean,
I
like
I
again,
am
even
not sick of this sketch yet. I mean, I think it still works, and I think they haven't gone to the well too much. So yeah,
right.
it's still strong, I think.
Yeah, it might be a thing where they might be getting close to doing it a little too much, but they haven't gotten there quite yet.
If this is the last one, I think they had a good run. They got maybe one more of these in them.
All right, I can see that.
Yeah, I did kind of see the final gag coming where it was the picture in Times Square of the soldier kissing the nurse. I could tell
Yeah,
they were leading up to that, and I didn't feel like it was as strong of a conclusion as the sketch deserved, but
yeah, I could see that. Like
but I
when she
still
said,
loved it overall.
yeah, because she said, "Oh yeah, somebody took a picture of me. It was on a magazine cover." I was like, hmm. I mean, that's
Yeah.
one of the most famous magazine covers.
Yeah, they seem to do
Yeah,
this like once a year or so, once a season, and I'm always happy to see it though.
yeah, no, absolutely,
Yeah, this is
absolutely.
one that Mikey writes with Streeter Seidel, I believe, right?
That sounds like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say yes. We'll credit you guys, Mike.
Okay. And if there was another writer who contributed to this as well, we like you best of all writer we didn't name.
Oh, here I got it. Mikey Day, Streeter Seidel, Brian Tucker.
See, Brian Tucker, he's my favorite.
Yeah, oh, he's great.
Yeah, no, I mean we have Brian Tucker. Yeah,
Oh, he's aces. That kid's going places.
that's right.
So now we're at a final sketch, 10-1.
Hmm.
Let Eggs. This one was written by Celeste Yim.
Yeah, oh, Celeste Yim solo. I was expecting some of their names, but okay, just Celeste
Yeah,
Yim. Way to
that's
go,
it.
Celeste.
That's all I got here. Um,
Okay. So this is a school cafeteria. There's an after-school rap group, and they're interrupted by Carey Mulligan and 80, who keep bringing up hosiery.
yeah, this was an interesting one because you think it's going to be about this after school rap group because you see them dressed in these tie dyed matching t shirts, like, and
Hmm.
they're kids who like to bust rhymes and freestyle after school, and then so you think it's about them, but then it takes this turn where 80 and Carey Mulligan dress like these middle aged women who dress like from the 80s,
Yeah.
and then they interject, and they're like, "Oh, I guess the sketch is about them."
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
and it turns out that they're sales reps for legs because they keep trying to bring the conversation around to pantyhose.
Right. I believe one of the questions they asked is, "What brand of smoothing pantyhose does the rap team wear?"
Yeah, and they end up talking about how back in the 80s and 90s everyone wanted hairless, elegant legs with no toenail. Then came the nightmare horror trends of the early 2000s. I just love the phrasing nightmare horror trends of the early 2000s.
It's a great name for a band.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Oh, you gonna see Nightmare Horror trends of the early 2000s? They're opening up
exactly.
they're opening up a Primus.
Yeah. Uh, I I thought this was all right. I kind of more love the idea that they devoted 4.5 minutes of network airtime to this sketch.
Yeah, like
That
I mean,
amuses me more than anything that was in the sketch, I think.
yeah, this was so odd. I mean, it was you could tell it was basically the writer like just I guess maybe was walking through the department store or something like that one day and was thinking, "Hey, how come women don't wear pantyhose anymore?" And then that was the impetus for
I
the
I
sketch.
I was feeling like Celeste probably like went down a YouTube rabbit hole and was watching old legs commercials on YouTube or something.
I could see that because I remember legs.
I remember legs too. They were this brand of pantyhose that came in this big plastic egg, and then that was like their trademark.
yeah, like I remember
And
being a kid seeing like, "Ooh, cool."
I don't remember if like my mother ever wore them or if they were just so ubiquitous in like the 70s and 80s that I was just aware of them that way. But
Yeah, I
but
was
yeah,
always
pantyhose they've kind of fallen by the wayside, I think.
yeah, I was always hoping to find like candy in them. Never did.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
a
oh,
little bait and
but
switch.
yeah,
I
but yeah,
never
that is
realized that they came to like how many pairs did they say were in an egg? Like
uh,
24 for $8 or something?
something. What a value!
They were like, yeah, or it was 8 for $24. I it was one of those two. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was one of those things. But yeah, it is one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, women don't wear pantyhose anymore. That's like an old lady thing now.
Yeah,
And I guess
yeah.
they're trying to make pantyhose make a comeback.
I guess women just en masse decided these are more trouble than they're worth. So we are not doing this anymore.
Yeah,
We will wear pants in the wintertime or our legs will get cold.
that's it.
One of those two. But no, with this, no.
This pantyhose tyranny ends now.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, this was an odd sketch, like you
I
said.
mean, it's what you want at 10 to 1. You
Yeah,
want the weird stuff.
yeah. I mean, the fact that it's basically the sketch is basically an advertising for is it legs or eggs?
They pronounce it both ways. Like halfway through the sketch, they started saying "la eggs," and I don't know. I'm now really curious if they still make these. I have a
I think
feeling
they
that
do. I think they do. You probably buy them at like Kmart or something.
okay, they're referred to in the present tense on Wikipedia. They were introduced in 1969 by Haynes, which
Ooh,
radically changed the hosiery marketplace.
change the game, son.
That's right. That's right. Um, they have a section on their Wikipedia called "Pantyhose Decline." Oh
Oh,
damn. Oh
oh,
yeah, you hate to hear that.
the
Um,
downfall.
Around 1991, pantyhose sales started dropping because office workers were adopting a more casual appearance, wearing slacks with knee-high hose rather than pantyhose.
Mm.
In 1994, after about an 18% drop in business, both Legs and Haynes reduced their workforce by 8,300 American employees, cutting
Oh,
their manufacturing capacity by 5%. Oh, well,
oh,
that's not good.
oh my God.
I mean, it's not good for the pantyhose people.
Yeah,
In
I didn't know that.
2011, they aired a new advertising campaign, their first since 1996. So,
Wow.
industry analyst Marshall Cohen was skeptical that the market would grow, though Kate Middleton was a notable wearer of pantyhose.
The Kate Middleton.
Yeah, well, there's a link to Kate Middleton's page, so yes.
Wow.
Um,
She's
Unfortunately, there is no link to a Wikipedia page of notable wearer of pantyhoses.
mm,
Which I really wish we could have that. I want to read that list. I want to hear about notable wearers of pantyhose.
absolutely. Yeah. So maybe I don't know. Maybe this sketch will bring back the pantyhose renaissance. Maybe women will start wearing them in offices again. Bank robbers will start wearing them on their heads again. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. I mean, this is what we need. This is what we need. I really wonder, does Legs have a Twitter account? I'm very curious now.
Oh, what have we done?
They do. They are at Legs Brand.
Of course
Let us
they
see
are.
if they have. Oh no! The tweets are protected. Only approved followers can see Legs Brand tweets.
What?
To request access, click follow. Do you think they went to protected tweets after the sketch last night?
I don't. I get maybe. Whoa.
Were
Hold
they
on.
getting trolled?
Oh my God. That's enough. What have you done?
Oh, oh, I oh.
Does Rummy Cube have this problem too?
This would be the best thing ever.
Did SNL put eggs out of business again?
I would love that. That would be hilarious.
Was this the death knell of eggs or legs? SNL, what have you done?
Why? Why wouldn't it? It's your brand. Why would your tweets be protected?
Yeah, you're not a Kardashian. You're eggs.
God, legs, people. You gotta tweet at SNL and show you're with the joke, man.
Yeah, Sarah Lee did that. Yeah, look at them.
That's
People,
right. That's right. Ugh.
uh,
So anyway, that was the
yeah,
way I think they ended up.
so that's the end of SNL, people.
I love that their tweets are protected. That's so funny.
Oh,
But overall, I thought this was a pretty strong show.
yeah, not a bad show. I liked the Kaluuya episode a little bit better, but I mean, this is definitely better than Maya Rudolph. But yeah, overall, solid show, strong opening sketch,
Yeah.
strong monologue, and yeah, had a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I thought this episode, it was a really solid one throughout. There weren't any sketches like I outright hated. I think the cold opener was probably sketch of the night for me, or sketch of the week.
Yeah, I thought that was solid. The lesbian period drama, I thought
that was
strong.
Good. That was good.
I liked Star Trek spinoff. I liked quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And and of course, Bone Yang is the iceberg. I mean,
and Warren Words. I mean, it's always fun to see that.
Yeah, this had a lot of good stuff in it.
I think this was definitely the strongest of the last chunk of three that we saw. I thought this was miles ahead of the Daniel Kaluuya.
Okay.
Sketch. Kaluuya.
All right, but Kaluuya. Yeah, but either way, this is a good show. Looks like the show's going in a good direction.
Mm-hmm.
Has the next few weeks off, and they'll be back in May with the final 3 episodes of the season. So we'll see what happens. See how they bring it on home. We'll see if see who they get as a host, musical guest. We'll see if the last 3 shows, if that's the final batch of shows for any cast members, because no Cecily in this show.
No Cecily, no Melissa Villasenor.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, no one said that they're gonna leave after this season, but I mean, I know we've talked about that the show kind of need to shake up. So we'll
see. I mean, I particularly would hate to see Cecily leave, because I think she's one of the most talented and versatile people that they have, and I feel like Melissa needs to stick around for longer. So I hope them not being in this episode is just happenstance, and it means that they're not long for this world.
Right. Oh, I mean, they're not going to die.
Well, the show, not for this world.
Okay, they're not going to die. They'll be around.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lauren doesn't kill people once they stop being on the show.
Soylent Green is people.
He's only done that like twice.
Yeah, Well, we've said too much.
We've said too much.
So. We said enough. That's me in the corner. So let's look at our Twitter account, guys.
We got some responses on this. Our friend Bill Broski says this was mostly a pretty dull episode with stuff we've seen before, but it was nice to see Punky do something on Update. And the sketch with Kate and 80 was another low-key character-based piece written by Dreesen and Gates, marred only by giggliness per usual.
Yeah, there was a good amount of giggly, but it wasn't. And it wasn't overly giggly, I don't think.
And yeah, I saw 80s start to break, but she covered well.
Right.
Um, Bill goes on. He says, "But do Kate and Edie really need to be developing? Uh, but do Kate and Edie really need to be developing new recurring characters now of all times? Also, slightly a ripoff of Pen 15 and ex SNLer Nassim Parad's own Chad." Um,
Uh, Maybe,
yeah,
but
I mean, I don't know if those things own women playing young boys.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's not
I feel
not
like
fair.
that's a broad enough trope. I don't know. I haven't watched either of those shows, so I don't really know how much overlap there is between them. So, but
Yeah,
I
no,
hesitate to call something a ripoff just because it has a similar premise.
yeah, it's. I think it's fine.
Um,
So we got.
he talks a little more. He says,
Oh,
despite it being a recurring thing, I still enjoyed the old-fashioned punchline jokiness of the War with Words sketch. It's almost like a textbook John Cleese, Graham Chapman Python sketch. Yeah, I could see that being on Python. It could be
yeah,
studied alongside the parrot sketch.
yeah.
Legs was a stereotypical 10-1 sketch, not really funny, but weird. Yeah, I don't agree with you on everything, Bill, but yeah, that's some good insights there.
Yes, right. We've heard you, and we listen, and we respect your opinion.
Yes, even
Uh,
when they're wrong.
yes, even when you're clearly wrong.
Yeah.
So we also got a tweet from Mike at Mikee. Best episode of the last 3 weeks, and I thought, not sure why we needed another. What's wrong with this picture though? Shrug emoji. Weekend update was strong again, and I enjoyed Bowen's bit. I always wonder why they repeat war in words, but I always end up laughing. I guess that's why.
I'd say that's as good a reason as any.
Yeah, we got our good friend Ruby the Rube saying, I'm glad the Titanic sank since it brought us Bowen's update piece 109 years later. And
That's a great observation.
yeah,
My
and
old college roommate Scott Hume at MNS Hume says, as a Twin Cities resident, the white anchors on the cold open hit very close to home. They actually looked and acted a lot like the two weeknight anchors on our NBC affiliate, who were quite problematic during last summer's riots.
oh boy,
Okay, well, sorry to hear that, but it's cool that they were accurate.
egad.
And he says Chris Red did a better Obama than anything we got in 8 years of the Obama presidency.
uh,
I thought Jerry Farrow's Obama was pretty good.
Farrow was okay, but yeah,
Fred
Armis.
Armisen's Obama never really sent me, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not his fault because I mean that was when the cast was pretty white and he was like the closest to, brownish they had. So they were like,
yeah,
hey, you want to do it, Fred? And then like he just got kind of tossed in his lap.
yeah.
But yeah,
And
he never quite nailed it.
Angela Burkis at Jizz on My Toes.
I'm sorry.
That is their handle, Jizz on My Toes.
What are you about to read?
Says, very interesting. A podcast about SNL exists. Only one, or are there others?
No, we're it. We're it.
Yep. Nope. We're the only one. They're literally the only one.
Don't bother to look. We're it.
Nope. Don't Google. Says, I thought this episode was funny, except the flute skit. Do you like what Pete Davidson has been doing, or are the music videos getting old? They're maybe getting a little predictable.
Yeah, they're pretty formulaic at this point. Where
Yeah, we've seen a
it's
lot of them, but
I mean, they are catchy. They're catchy little tunes, but as
yeah,
far as them being funny, it's they're okay.
they're hit and miss for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But yeah, if I mean, there are times where he's able to find a new take on it, like when he did the Stew video with the Santa Claus. I thought that was like the Eminem Stew stand video. I thought that was a fresher take on it. But like he doesn't, for the most part, the Pete Davidson rap videos are kind of go the way of the little flute, where it's kind of one note.
yeah, yeah. And did we mention that the iceberg segment was co-written by Anna Dreesen and Bowen Yang?
We did now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. She tweeted, "Genuine stupid joy to write this impossibly stupid, but with Bowen Yang, who is the Celine Dion of comedy, he delivers."
That's that's high praise.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm sure in Anna's mind that's high praise.
Like,
I would put him several notches above Celine Dion, but
yeah, when I mean, if Bone Yang does like stand up or wherever he goes, like when people introduce him, he should be brought up to stages and introduced into rooms as the Celine Dion of comedy.
that's yeah, sure.
That's
That's what you want.
that's how you address me.
I mean, I would listen to his rendition of the Titanic theme, and I'm just now realizing that she made the Celine Dion comparison because, well, Titanic.
Aha,
Yeah, I've
aha.
successfully driven that song out of my head, and now Anna, you put that back in my head.
God,
So thank you for that.
that song was everywhere.
Oh, that was omnipresent.
It was like obnoxious how much it was just everywhere.
You know, I've
Lord,
never seen Titanic all the way through.
what?
Yep.
Uh, yeah, I don't think I
It
have.
was one of those things that movie got like so damn popular it became like an act of defiance not to see it. But it was also so omnipresent that I could do a pretty fair job of summarizing the movie.
Exactly. Like I think I saw the whole thing once,
Yeah,
but I don't. But I know enough about it from seeing it in videos and clips everywhere. I
yeah.
know. I got the gist of it. I know.
I know the movie through cultural osmosis at this point.
Exactly. Exactly. But
Like
like I
seeing it would be redundant.
exactly. It's I mean, I could either watch that or I could watch, you know, you know,
Three fourths of the Snyder cut.
exactly. I could watch that. You could watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit again for the 58th
Well, hey,
time.
there you go. I mean, I
Yeah.
think the choice is clear.
I mean, come on. It's a talking rabbit whose bow tie spins.
That's right.
I mean, how can you compare the two?
Yeah. You know, plus Christopher Lloyd, Bob Hoskins,
My God. Charles Fleischer at his height?
Joanna Cameron.
That other guy?
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse? The
Yeah.
rest?
Stubby K.
Yeah.
Stubby K's in it.
Um, Others?
Betty Boop.
And Betty Boop? Woody Woodpecker's in it there somewhere?
You know, Daffy Duck and Donald Duck doing a little piano battle of the bands
Oh,
thing.
dude, that was hilarious. Dude,
Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny parachuting together for some reason because I guess
ba-
that's a thing they do.
Baby Herman, you got a baby chewing a cigar,
Baby
cursing out
Herman,
people?
he's got a 50-year-old passion and a 4-year-old dinky.
Yeah, he sexually harasses a woman and slaps her in the behind.
Exactly.
That's great
That's
comedy.
entertainment.
I saw that when I was 11, and I think about it now. I was like, oh, that's kind of maybe I should
Oh,
have seen
I
that.
probably should not have seen it.
I saw that with
PG
my dad.
though, right?
It's PG. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
my
it
dad.
has to be PG. How do you make a Roger Rabbit and not make that PG?
Like I remember I saw that my dad took us to see that, me and my sister, and I think my cousins too. And like for the after that movie came out, for the longest time, I thought that was like the greatest movie I'd ever seen. Like not that I just seen, but America had ever seen.
That
Like I
anyone anywhere had ever seen.
yeah, I was like, we're not going to be able to make a movie as good as this ever again. This
Yeah,
is it.
no, and I think history bears you out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I called that.
I think the story checks out. Yeah.
Yeah, like I went out and I got like a Roger Rabbit T-shirt from Sears and everything. I
Hmm.
was like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I mean, my God, that movie is just that
Yeah.
movie warms my heart.
Yeah. Time to revisit Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Damn, I, I was trying to think of the way we could do it on the podcast, but I don't think we can. Oh,
I don't think there's any direct SNL connection.
son.
So probably
Mm.
not.
Damn it! Damn it, Jim!
You know, maybe unless we really wanted to stretch the definition of our podcast to the actual limit and do like a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing.
Well, Christopher Lloyd was on Taxi with Andy Kaufman, who was on SNL.
Well, there you go. Okay. Well, so
There-
obviously, and hey, who was to say that the late Andy Kaufman wasn't in Who Framed Roger Rabbit somehow?
Right. So, guys, we're going to do Who Framed Roger Rabbit next episode. That's what we're saying. That's a roundabout way of
That's
saying of doing Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Okay, we won't, but we want to, is what we're saying.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, all right. So that's the episode, and I mean, as far as what's going to happen next week, I guess we're still kind of figuring it out. But
We're
definitely let you
discussing
guys-
it. We have options.
Yeah, we got prospects. We got
have
prospects.
options. The emails are going back and forth.
Things are happening. People are talking. Emails are
Things are.
being sent.
We got irons in the fire, baby.
Things are burning, blazing, flazing,
Yeah,
schmazing.
we're flazing.
We're flazing. No.
We're flazing.
Oh man, I think I need to lie down. I'm just
Yeah,
babbling.
yeah. No, it's you got to lie down. You got to rest up for that vaccine next week.
Damn straight. And yeah, so guys, that's our episode. We'll let you know what we do next week. We'll put it out there. And
Or
if you
maybe we
want to,
won't. Maybe we'll just put it out there, and you just have to listen to it. And no matter what it is, just give us a leap of faith. Come on,
Yeah, how about
we've
that?
done 132 of these episodes. Don't we deserve a little faith at this point?
Yeah, we
After
know
all
what
we've done for you.
You got to be like George Michael. You got to have faith.
Exactly.
Well, I guess it would be.
What's
nice
a perfect circle?
if I could touch your body? What?
Dana Carvey.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Now
Dana
to its
Carvey.
power, or it will destroy you.
Very nice. Wow, dude, that's why you're the maestro.
Ah.
And yeah, so if you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you can follow me at Darren Credible. That's DARAN Credible.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Trumbull Comic. That's TRUMBULL and the word comic. You can also follow our show page at SNL Nerds Show. And again, we are the only SNL podcast Twitter account. No other
We're
ones
it.
out there.
Nope. Yep. We're it. We're the last man standing. Don't even
Only
bother
game in town.
That's right. Don't bother to look into that at all. Just trust us. Go on faith, as we said before.
That's correct. And check out the other shows on the Non-Productive Network. And hey, please support us on Patreon. Give us a rate and a review on the podcast app of your choice, because that really does help us out. And always tell a friend, retweet, all that good stuff.
Yeah, put the word out. Help us make this little baby grow.
This little mom and pop operation. We want it to grow into a massive conglomerate.
Right. That's right. We're looking to sell out at the drop of a hat. So help us do that, please.
Yes. It's all we want out of life. So, all right. Well, we'll be back next week with something else. But until then, nerds out!
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.